It's been almost 24 hours. It's been almost a full day since the Indiana Pacers came from behind, down 15 in the fourth quarter, and knocked off the Oklahoma City Thunder in game one of the NBA Finals. And I am still in shock and disbelief. It is just remarkable that the Indiana Pacers have kind of built this formula where they can come from behind, doesn't matter the deficit. They've done 15 or more now, what, four times, five times in the playoffs? It just seems ridiculous. You can't count this team out. And this team believes they are still in games they have no business being in. 19 turnovers in the first half, that's game over. And somehow the Indiana Pacers continued to stay alive, continued to, what was it, chip away at the rock? Is that the way Rick Carlisle explained it in the postgame show? Or post game presser. But the Pacers somehow found a way to close the gap, put the pressure on Oklahoma City. And that's what I said about this series. That's why I picked the Pacers in six. I said the Pacers have a chance if they can make this 3-2 after 5 games. The Pacers need to lead 3 games to 2 after 5, so they've got a chance to win it in 6 at home at Cambridge, because I don't know how this Oklahoma City team is going to respond to pressure. They've blown out almost everybody this year. They ran away and hid from teams because they did what they did to the Pacers last night. The only problem is the Pacers didn't go away. They forced turnovers. They generally turn those turnovers into points. They were not able to do that last night. Only 11 points off the turnovers, and they had 14 steals. I mean, generally, you can get buckets off steals because you get what in hockey would be an odd man rush. You get a fast break, a 2-on-1 or a 3-on-2, maybe even a 1-on-1 to the basket if you've got the right guy like Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. But last night, the Oklahoma City Thunder weren't able to convert their steals into points, and as a result, the Pacers hung around, and the Pacers end up getting the Tyrese Halliburton bucket. This is uncharted territory for what Tyrese Halliburton is doing for the Indiana Pacers. I mean, we are witnessing a historic performance. Now, there's no way to know right now how this goes down as far as his legacy. He's still a young player. There's still a lot of future ahead of him. But the Indiana Pacers aren't in the position they're in without the heroics of Tyrese Halliburton. He's hit bucket after bucket after bucket. He's 5 for 5 in those game-winning, clinching situations or game-continuing situations. I mean, it's kind of ridiculous what he has been able to do in pushing this team either to victory or to overtime, like he did in New York. But he's done it against Milwaukee. He's done it against the top seed in the East, Cleveland. He's done it against the number 3 seed in the East, the New York Knicks. And now he's done it against the number 1 team in the NBA, the Oklahoma City Thunder. It's remarkable. And we asked the question last week, and if you didn't see our episode on that, you might want to go back and look it up in our videos. But we talked about Tyrese Halliburton, superstar, yes or no? And this is a little bit like the question about a player being elite or not. And to me, it's not really talent that defines superstar. Superstar is someone who elevates themselves past just being a basketball player. All of a sudden now they're recognized as not only maybe the face of the franchise, but one of the faces of the league, that they become a star outside of their own team fan base, that the media starts to pile on and recognize the talents and the leadership of that particular player. And I think superstars are ordained by the media. That's that's how you end up being a superstar, because you go past the limits of stardom with your own team and all of a sudden be recognized as someone who is nationally accepted as one of the true stars of the game, and those are your superstars. I think it's fabricated by the media and they kind of pick and choose who these superstars are going to be. Some of it is national TV exposure, some of it is mentions on the talk shows, and right now, Tyrese Halliburton is on the verge of crossing over into superstardom because of this exceptional playoff run that he has been on. I found this interesting. Vegas does not have a renewed or I'm trying to think of the right word, but they don't have a belief in the Pacers that they can do what they did in game one and do it in game two. I'll tell you, they can do that again. In fact, the fact that the Pacers were able to find a way to stay with Oklahoma City and win on the road at Oklahoma City when they played as poorly as they played, this was not a classic Pacers type of performance. And yet they still won the basketball game. They are an 11-point underdog for Sunday night's game. 11-point underdog. I mean, they were at 9.5 to 10.5 for game one. Now they're an 11. It's almost like, oh, well, geez, Oklahoma City's not going to take that kind of crap, getting beat by the lowly Indiana Pacers. They're going to come out and just smoke them in game two. Why do they not give them the credit they deserve that this is a closer series than everybody expected? Is it because the public hasn't bought in to the Indiana Pacers actually being a good basketball team? Is it because of all the national media talk? I mean, the Pacers won one. Why can't they win two? They won two at Cleveland to open up that series. They won two in a row at New York to open up that series. Why are the Pacers a bigger dog in game two than they were in game one? Now that we've seen these two teams go head to head. Remember, the Pacers lost by 6 at Gainbridge during the regular season, and they're playing much better basketball now than they were then. They win a game in game one where Oklahoma City had been 29-1 against Eastern Conference opponents this year. In fact, Oklahoma City undefeated against the Eastern Conference at home this year and had not lost to an Eastern Conference team for, I believe, 14 months. And the last team from the Eastern Conference to beat Oklahoma City at Oklahoma City, the Indiana Pacers. So why is there no more confidence in the Pacers than what we're seeing? I think it's worth a bet on the Pacers. I know Oklahoma City's pattern has been when they get challenged, they come back and dominate. But this team has a special heart about them. This Pacers team, they've got a certain fight about them. They can elevate their defense. They can come up with some plays. They hit some big shots, and they all do it. And that's the key. You can't just take one guy out of the game. Last night, Oklahoma City did their best to remove Tyrese Halliburton from this game. They keyed on him. They switched defenders to constantly keep someone fresh guarding him. And he still got the game winner. He didn't have a big night, but he did get the game winner. But for the night, he only had 12 points prior to that game-winning bucket. He only had, 6 assists? Nemhard had as many assists as Tyrese had. Tyrese got moved off the point because of the way it realigned the defense and then gave Oklahoma City some new options to consider in what they were doing with their game plan. And I don't think Oklahoma City's going to go with that 4-guard lineup anymore. I think they're going to switch it up and try to attack the Pacers where the Pacers have the greatest vulnerability, which is on the glass. But Oklahoma City, which builds this defense to try to take away, because what they do is they rotate off the weakest player on the floor and they try to double when the best player is trying to attack. And the Pacers, you can't do that because they've got too many good shooters on the floor. Even T.J. McConnell dropped in a triple when they decided to play off him. So I believe in the Pacers, and I don't think it was a fluke that they won game one. Like I said, the goal for the Pacers is to somehow make it to the 5th game and have it at least 3-2 Pacers advantage. And if they put that pressure on Oklahoma City, who really hasn't faced pressure all year long, I don't think Oklahoma City can handle it. The Pacers have been through these types of challenges where they played teams that were expected to beat them. They have played a lot of close games. They've played from behind. They've played from behind with big margins. I don't think the Pacers are going to get phased, but I do think you can rattle Oklahoma City. And that's why I think if the Pacers can get 3-2 and put the backs against the wall, I think the Pacers are going to win this series in 6. Also, tonight, Florida Panthers. They got to bounce back. What a heartbreaker of a game 1 loss for the Florida Panthers. Now we're going to have to see what kind of heart the champion has. Do they have the fight in them to bounce back? Always say that whether it's within a game or within a series, it takes a lot more energy to be the team playing from behind. And right now, the Florida Panthers are down 1-0 in this series after dropping the overtime game at Edmonton. It's going to be an insane crowd. Of course, Edmonton trying to represent an entire nation, not just the Edmonton Oilers fan base, but the Florida Panthers. There's a reason that Paul Maurice and the Panthers have been to the finals 3 years in a row and won the thing last year and are the defending Stanley Cup champions because, well, they are successful in these types of situations. And so pressure is on the Panthers tonight. Pressure is on Bob. Let's be honest, he gave up a bad goal, and it ended up coming back to cost them a game. A bad goal. And I know he had a partial screen, but actually I thought he gave up a couple of goals. He probably should have stopped and got out of position. But I think he'll bounce back. But we'll see what the Panthers do. That game comes up tonight on TNT. Also, tomorrow morning, we've got 11 a.m., 3A regional between Norwell and Dwenger. 4A regional championship between Homestead and Snyders at 3 p.m. Both games will be broadcast on 1380 The Fan and 100.9 FM. Always love to have you subscribe, like, be sure to comment, and share this channel. We're trying to build and grow, and the only way we do it is with your help because we can't beat the algorithm yet, but you can. You can certainly help us. So subscribe, like, comment, and share the Sports Rush with Brett Rump. Hope you have a great sports weekend. We'll talk to you soon.